Hello and welcome to Restore 2022. We are reading the scriptures together with the expectations that God will reveal himself afresh, that he would help us in our confidence of who he is and how to boldly live a life of worship for him. We've arrived in Matthew chapter 21, and Jesus' public ministry is coming to an end. As it's in the other Gospels, there are more details, this part of Jesus' life, let's say early life or even his ministry in the past 3 years. But the following chapters are crucial. They're at the heart of the Gospel as Jesus suffers, dies, is buried, and rises on the third day. And as Peter Turnhill reminded us in yesterday's video, that whatever the disciples thought about victory, leadership, glory and mercy and justice will ever after be seen through the lens of the cross. Here in this chapter we have the king who continues to be humble and obedient as he enters Jerusalem on a donkey. That famous story of people waving palms. The crowds welcome Jesus as they would be expected to welcome a king. Look at their answer to the question, but who is this? This is the prophet, Jesus from Nazareth of Galilee. Perhaps they are saying more than they realize, but what they're saying is true. Jesus has been commissioned by God both to declare the kingdom of heaven as a prophet, but also to launch it as a king. And by riding into the city in this way, Jesus is performing a prophetic, a dramatic act, much like those of some Old Testament prophets. Method and message combined, and they convey this purposeful approach of Jesus to Jerusalem. And while the crowds may expect that Jesus' aim is to do away with the Roman domination of Palestine, Matthew wants us to realize again the spiritual element of the kingdom of God. And this is the significance of all of this. Because at this stage, Jesus will demonstrate his spiritual messianic authority of the temple with his prophetic voice, like it has happened in the past with the prophets like Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Malachi. And here in this chapter, Jesus is challenging the Jerusalem establishment and their administration of the temple. Matthew seems to draw on the expectations for the Messiah to purify the temple in this scene, in which Jesus emphasizes God's intention for the temple as a place of prayer and worship. More so for Matthew, Jesus is the center of the good news, not because Judaism has offered bad news, but because Jesus is the fulfillment of Israel's hopes and the completion of Israel's story. Jesus is communicating with the teachers of the law, and they ask questions, and he answers them with a question. And after answering them with a question, he tells them parables. 2 of these parables are in chapter 21, and one is in chapter 22. But it has to do with Jesus' identity and their rejection to Jesus' identity and authority. And in their rejection, Jesus contrasts them to those who have believed his message. Actually, those who are tax collectors, those who are prostitutes, and these people have produced fruit. And it is at this point in Matthew's story that the Jerusalem leaders begin the final plot to arrest and execute Jesus.